Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Aidan.
I'm G.
I'm Soph.
Today we have another Lost in the Pond for a first time in quite a while.
Yep.
9 things Americans do that Brits don't.
Be interested to know what this is because
9 things Americans do that Brits don't.
What, I thought you were thinking of one there.
Yeah, I was thinking of one, but my mind just...
Well, I'm sure Lawrence is going to tell us anyway, so let's find out 9 things Americans do that Brits don't.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to the things we do as people. It turns out that there are just things that people in one country do that the people in the other country do not do. And today we're going to take a look at 9 things that Americans do that Brits don't, and take that title with a grain of salt, okay? It's very much a generalisation. Of course, many of the things on this list probably are practised by some people, some pedants over in Britain. I said pedants, not peasants. But for the most part, on the whole, generally speaking, how many other ways can you say that? Americans do these things more than Brits. Now, if I'd have done this list maybe 12 years ago before I moved to the United States, there are some things I would have included that have since caught on in Britain. So, you know, baby showering or queuing up for the Black Friday sales or getting a coffee to go. So since there's more of a level playing field in regard to those things, I'm just going to leave them off the list. And given that we're all presently trapped in our bunkers, even the ones that did make it onto the list probably shouldn't temporarily, including this. Smiling at strangers, which I suppose is what I'm doing to you right now, so I'm a hypocrite in a way. And you know what, I think when I first encountered this is when you're walking along, say, a footpath, or you're in a parkway, and someone you've never met, maybe they've got a dog, they just look at you and smile. It sounds creepy when I put it like that, and at first it was. I thought I was going to get mugged, right? British people value their personal space, right? Don't enter that zone. And so whenever that happened, it was a little off-putting, but I got used to it when I realised that Americans are just really friendly, and this is a good thing, right? And so I not only came to embrace this, but I started doing it myself, and, you know, people got a bit creeped out by the British teeth. I can't help that, it's just something I'm born with, and so you're going to have to accept it from now on. I must say, though, that during this sort of weird situation we find ourselves...
do you smile at people in the street?
It depends. Like, if I'm just walking past them, no, but if they're like... if they like kind of like do something that means
like
I
hold
should
the door open for you, or...
Yeah, but if they hold that, I'll probably say thank you. But if they like kind of like if we're walking towards each other and we just kind of move out the way of each other type thing, maybe, and we look at each other, maybe I'd smile. Yeah,
I smile at everybody.
That's good.
What? So if like a random person just walks past you and looks at you, you smile at them?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think it's nice to be kind.
But you're not really doing anything kind.
No, but I'm saying if somebody makes eye contact with me.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, if someone makes eye contact with me, I wouldn't look at them in disgust.
Yeah.
No, I would smile.
Yeah, I'd probably end up smiling as well, but I don't know how many
Especially
people
with,
generally
like,
just stare at me.
People that are a bit older, I always like look at them and smile.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they'll make eye
older,
contact, and what was like...
I would mainly do it to older people. To
Yeah.
I remember,
just like...
I remember when I was a young
Hi.
child and I used to go when I used to stay at my grandparents, I used to go for a walk on a Sunday morning in Blackcar Woods with my granddad, and every single person that we walked past, he'd say, "How do? How do?"
Oh, just being friendly, being
Yeah.
polite.
Yeah.
Love it.
ourselves, and if anybody smiled at me while I was going out to take the trash out, I'd run for the hills. We don't have hills in Chicago, so I'd be lost. Similarly, which is a word I had to say about 10 times before I got right, Americans might greet you not only with a smile, but by saying, "How are you?" or "What's up?" And these don't mean, you know, "Are you okay?" or anything like that. It just means hello, right? And it's, in a way, it's sort of similar to how we Brits say, "All right." And we're not asking if you're okay, we're simply saying hello. So in many ways there are similarities between the two. I don't really know why that is. Are we just trying to soften and euphemize the word hello in the same way that we would with death or going to the toilet? It's really odd when you think about it, but we both do it. Should I start my videos with, "All right, I'm Lawrence and no, I won't do that. What I will do is go on to our next entry. Yes, flags. I did talk about this in a video just recently that, American families and houses and things like that are very prone to having the flag flying outside. And I found that it really doesn't matter which party you vote for or anything like that. People will still fly the flags regardless of that, particularly on July the 4th, but you will see it at all times of year on numerous houses. And that's not to say that we don't fly the flag in Britain, but we usually reserve that for very special occasions like football matches, which are very special occasions these days. There's just sort of maybe there's more pride in the flag here, or it's
before the when it was the FA Cup final when City played United, because it's like the cup of all, like every English team can compete in almost.
Yeah.
Like before there's royal family at the game and they sing the national anthem and have a British flag out on the.
But they don't do that for just like a normal football game, no.
Only like special games.
Yeah.
Symbolises so much more, and therefore it gets used. And when I say it symbolises so much more, I mean it really does. You've got the 50 stars representing each of the 50 states, and then you've got the 13 stripes representing each of the original 13 colonies. And so it's symbolic in many ways, and it's part of the lexicon even. You've got words like Old Glory, Stars and Stripes and things like that. And so it's a very pervasive part of American culture. Yes, date formats. Again, I've spoken about this before on the channel, but it's very much worthy of inclusion because
I was thinking it was like how you pave on a date or something. Then I realised it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, they switch it around.
How they put the month before the day.
No. Yeah. When I definitely am wrong saying this, but pretty much every other country, it's because it makes sense, the day and the month and the year.
Yeah.
Like, it's like seconds, minutes, hours.
You wouldn't believe how many things I got that said I was born on the 1st of February.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, that would annoy me.
So even on I've noticed on TikToks and stuff, on the dates and stuff like that, like when they'll post, it's always the American date. And it confuses me. Because then I'm like, I don't know why I'm even bothered about when they post it. Just like, if I want to go back and watch a previous video of theirs, I'm like scrolling down the page. And I get confused because I'm like, I can't find it. It should be,
Yeah. At least you can't get confused with mine.
No.
Because it's not like I'm born on the 23rd month.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you just know straight away. Yeah.
When I first moved to the United States, it was very hard for me to get out of my head the British way of writing the date, which is to put the day first, the month second, and then the year. So it's sort of in order of unit, right? The smallest entity, the day, the second smallest, and then the third smallest, the year. Or is it to the largest? It's so hard to word that correctly without confusing yourself. I'm not a mathematician, and that was evident in my early days of trying to get my head around the American date format. It's not hard. I mean, you obviously just switch the day and the month around, but it's that thing you've known all your life. You're having to unlearn what you'd already learned. And eventually, working in an office every day for 5 years, the American way of doing things really did sort of cement itself in my head, and I came good on that front. And I think now if I were to move back to Britain, it'd be the other problem, and I'd have a hard time adapting. And if I tell everybody that, my birthday is 11/18/1981, they'll think I invented 6 more months, and, will kick me out of the country again for forgery. That's not what that means. Falsehoods, just general falsehoods. Oh, and while I'm on the subject of birthdays, that brings me on to our next entry. Tailgating was such an alien concept to me when I first moved to America, and in many ways it still is, and that's mainly because I don't own a truck or go to sports events, because that's what happens. When I talk about tailgating, I'm not just talking about, when you drive too closely behind another car. I'm talking about that kind of thing that Americans do at sports events outside of sports stadiums or anywhere else where they can park it, and they just casually light a barbecue and drink beer. And I mean, they look fun. It's just, I've never been invited to one, so pity me, come on, feel sorry for me. It's never happened. The best you're going to get outside of sports stadiums in Britain is people selling pirated DVDs. I've just realised, actually, those pirate DVD sellers, they're probably struggling right now because A, there's a pandemic on, and B, no one uses DVDs anymore. Actually, I suppose nobody...
I feel like there's a good reason that we don't tailgate over here, though.
Well, I was thinking as well, if we had a truck, or if I weren't in mine and we opened the back up and we had barbecues and beers, we'd only be able to have 2 beers and we couldn't drive. So what's the point?
Oh yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah, true.
It's very
And
different
also,
over
when you
there.
go to sporting events here, like especially like football matches, there's no parking.
No.
Like go to Spurs Stadium, you generally have to park like miles from the ground. New stadium as
walking.
well, you have to
Yeah.
park miles from the ground and then walk. The weather will probably be raining,
Yeah.
so you're just gonna like
Yeah.
you can't do that.
No.
And then I just feel like, no offence, but like they'd get very rowdy as well, like very violent. So you're there like trying to have your barbecue and
Yeah.
then someone would be like, I don't know, throwing a punch at someone and they'd fall into the barbecue and then like, I don't know, then you'd get sued. I just feel like it probably
maybe, I
won't go
don't
down
know.
very well.
If it's your own fans all in one area, then
Yeah.
you'll be fine. But,
Yeah.
And when you go to City's ground now, it's like it's not tailgating, but you have like loads of bars outside the ground and like
Yeah.
shelters and stuff, and there's a stage that bands start playing
Yeah.
music at before the games and stuff,
Yeah,
and
like
then
3 hours
there's
before.
like loads of like already vans and trucks that sell hot dogs and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, like you can eat before and,
Yeah.
you know,
That,
meet
like
up
it's
and
all
chill.
it's all being sold there anyway. So
Yeah, that's our kind of tailgating, isn't it?
yeah. And then but our kind of tailgating is just drinking in the pub.
Yeah. We go inside. We go 3 hours
Pre-drinks.
before kick-off and go in the
Yeah,
bar.
me and office bloke Daz buddy wake up at 7 a.m. to go to like a 5:30 kick-off and go to the pub.
That's crazy for me,
You know
that.
what I mean?
I'd be getting there at 4:45. Just strolling up.
Yeah, literally, you think 2 hours before he's about, and he's like, no, let's 3.
Yeah.
4 hours before.
No, like when we go to an away game to London, we'll get to London about 4 hours before the game actually starts. Sometimes 5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just in
God.
case there's traffic.
Just in case it's traffic, yeah.
That's have a few energy drinks to keep me awake, I
Yeah.
think.
That's what the beers are
It's
for.
fine going there.
Yeah,
It's coming
yeah.
back. You're like, oh, why
Coming
did I
back
bother
is long,
coming?
yeah. Well.
Can you sleep on, like, just sleep on the coach?
No, because you'll sing.
No.
Yeah.
Not use on the way back.
Oh, I don't know. What about
Depends
that?
what the game was
Yeah.
Yeah.
and if we
Just bring
won.
your ear. Like, your earbuds.
He is doing our next entry, including me, so I'm going to leave this to Lawrence from Christmas to explain. Anybody that's followed my channel now for a while will know that I have feelings on free refills. In fact, I did an entire video about it. And while they are all the rage here, and of course you'll find them in most fast food outlets and other places, there is one clarification I have to make here. You will find free refills as an option in places like Subway in the United Kingdom. So in some capacity, America has exported it, but it is by no means as universal in the United Kingdom as it is in the United States. And as I've said before, I think the temptation of knowing that I could get a free cup of pop on top of the one that I've already had is what made me give up pop in the first place. So I do have that to thank America for. Of course, if you are American and you have the willpower to stay away from the free refills, more power to you.
Is that what they call it? Pop?
Pop. We call it pop as well over here.
Do we?
Yeah.
I've never even...
But I couldn't focus because that tree behind was the grimmest Christmas tree I've ever seen in my life.
Well, it was better than ours.
We didn't have one.
Like, exactly.
I was going to say, sure you don't have one.
Yeah, literally.
No, because nobody can be bothered pouring it up now.
No.
I think I put mine up about 3 days before Christmas, like last year. Normally I'm like, a week before and then 2 weeks after or whatever it is, but no.
Did you say 3 years?
Did I say years? Did I?
3
weeks.
years before Christmas.
Just kept it up, it's just constantly there.
Well, Declan didn't take his down till April.
Yeah, Jesus.
No, every time we
I
FaceTime.
remember a couple of years ago when we still had that Christmas decoration in July.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, it all has to go away for me. Yeah.
I just don't do it anymore.
No, there's no
It's
point.
too much
Because
effort.
you always used to do it for the kids,
Kids,
don't you?
yeah.
I was going to say, when
I
you're
don't
young,
care.
it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the kids, but
And we never spend Christmas Day at home. We open our presents, then we go out. So
Yeah.
there's no point. Unless I get a massive big house and then I get somebody around to decorate it and come and take it down as well.
Oh,
yes,
Jesus.
that sounds good.
Free refills or not, Americans do like their water to be very cold, and I'm not talking about their bath water. Can you imagine having an ice bath? Do they? That is weird. But they put lots of ice in their water occasionally, and you'll find this happening in restaurants, but people will do it in the comfort of their own homes too. And this was somewhat of an alien concept to me before I moved to the US. I think maybe it's because we live in a mildish climate in Britain. We don't feel the need to do that. And the water in Britain tends to come out of the tap quite cold anyway, so that usually suffices. But actually, I have come to appreciate this one because during the summertime in Chicago, or previously where I lived in Indiana, it gets very, very hot. Sometimes it can get over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you go out for a run in that weather, and that's not me, I don't run, but if you do, you're going to perspire like crazy, right? So not only do you need just water in general, it is nice to have it with ice in it because it cools you down. Like it's ice cold, and you're catching your breath because it's going so dry from all the heat. They'll even buy bags of ice here in America. You can actually buy bags of ice from the store, and I still don't know why people do that. I know because you have ice trays.
We can do that.
We can buy bags of ice. This must be really old because we can buy bags. I've got a bag of ice upstairs in the.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen that bag of ice.
Yeah, I put it in my.
Surely there has been bags of ice for ages.
Yeah, there are. So for as long as I can remember, they sell bags of ice at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Maybe where he lived, they didn't have bags of ice.
Yeah.
What, Grimsby? Is that what it was?
Grimsby.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Probably don't even have clean water.
Trays, and you put them in the freezer. Am I missing something?
So that you can have ice for a party.
Oh, right. Like a tailgating party, or just generally a party?
Any party.
Any party in the summer.
Or winter.
Who has ice in the winter? I mean, in the drink.
Floridians?
That's true. Is it even winter in Florida, though, when it's winter here?
Yes, but no.
Not the same. This one seemed really strange for the first few months of living in America. People going out to the store in their pajamas and sweatpants and things like that. It's as if they don't care about what they look like while, traversing Walmart, which I can understand. It's not really something you'd find back in Britain. I'm not saying we dress our Sunday best to go shopping, but we at least make an effort, put on jeans and a t-shirt, You will see people going out in their gym jams, their jammies, PJs, right? And I'm not exempt from that, especially right now. I mean, I don't care I want people to avoid me, so of course I go out in my pajamas or anything. I went out in this the other day. These aren't my pajamas. That's just me looking like a Sith Lord, a dime store Sith Lord, but nonetheless a Sith Lord. And I suppose in many ways it speaks to that American tendency toward comfort. But this is not just a pandemic era thing. I mean, people have been doing this for centuries, probably.
Pajamas?
Yeah.
I feel like that started in the 90s.
So there weren't people going in the 19th century going out with their sort of sleeping cap on and things like that to their local blacksmiths or whatever. That's it. Thank you for watching this episode of Lost in the Pond. Don't forget to follow me right here on YouTube so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. What are you laughing at? I know, it looked like a crotch chop. I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, so if you liked what you saw here, follow me on Twitter at Lost in the Pond US. You'll get a lot of these sorts.
Yeah.
That's one of my pet peeves as well. People who go out in pajamas.
Yeah, you don't see it that often here,
No.
though, do you?
I've got out in my rollers loads of times.
I was going to say it's a very Scouse thing, isn't it? That
Yes,
all the
it
girls
is.
go and get the hair
the
done and
blow
keep,
dries.
yeah, and keep the rollers until they get home.
Yeah, I love it, me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done it once. I went and got my hair done and they put it in pin curls, and then I went to the railway, and had a few pints in there, and then went home and took my hair out. But
Love it.
I got absolutely ripped. Everyone was like, "What are you dressed as?"
Really?
Yeah.
Would you ever go to the shops in your pajamas?
I don't even. I'll probably sleep in there. I don't wear pajamas.
You just
I go to sleep in the same things I wear throughout the day.
It's such a scruff.
Mm.
Oh, I couldn't be. To be fair though, I always wear like jeans or like, stuff, and imagine trying to sleep in jeans, you just, no. The second I get in, I have to like get in like my proper like comfy.
That's what I'm like. As soon as I
fluffy
get in,
socks.
wash my makeup off, put
Yeah.
my pajamas on.
Yeah.
And even if
Get
I'm
all
ordering a
cosy.
pizza, I don't care. I'm going downstairs to get my pizza in my pajamas.
Are
Same.
you having a laugh?
I've gone too far. I've gone to
The
the
amount of
shop in my
times that you and
pyjamas.
Dad have asked, "Oh, hey, can you get the food from downstairs if I'm ordering because I'm in my pajamas now."
But I have been downstairs, and I've just prayed that nobody else is going to be around. I've gone down barefoot as well, and Dan was like, "Have you been out with no shoes on? That's disgusting."
Is it?
Bringing all the germs in.
Proper word with his bare feet.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you hit the like and subscribe for us, please, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Bye.